Hello and welcome to today's video as we go over where the LPL teams stand in my mind. Right now, going into week one, the beginning of the full week of week one, we have a couple series under our belt, which will factor into this. But for the most part, the LPL I don't think is even played yet. Since summer began, a lot of teams have made moves, and I characterize the teams in these groups. So let's go over how I'm viewing things. You can comment down below. A lot of people get hyperbolic about things, and then don't take accountability when they're wrong. They think that's okay. I'm not about that. Frankly, I think it's pretty deplorable. But regardless, first we're gonna start with Rare Atom. Why? Because the purple marker is right here. So, Rare Atom. Not making any moves, right? They still have, they added Zhao, right? So that made them slightly better. But at the same time, Vikla's okay, Asum's okay, Zhaoju's okay. But we're saying, I wouldn't say they're wait and see. Why? They haven't made any changes. Gave up. They haven't made any changes in a negative direction. They tricked you. They may have tricked you in the beginning of spring if you were a fan of the LPL enough to watch the Demacia Cup and then get really excited and think that team all of a sudden is going to be like a high-tier playoff team. I thought that was a pretty telling thing about hyperbole. But in the end, Rare Atom go into never hope, right? So they never had hope, Rare Atom, really, at least in my mind, to be a playoff team. A good little start. Give them their flowers for that. But in the end, they didn't make the moves necessary to really get better. I mean, the support change, not all that crazy and inspiring. So let's get rid of Rare Atom now. Next, we got the teams that are characterized with the black marker. So we have IG. IG have made roster moves, right? So going from spring to summer, Several, Cryan out, Tianjin out, YSKM benched for a while as they had Zuan playing in top lane, and Zuan provided a little bit of pizzazz. Support role, Vampire. You could say, why? But in my opinion, that's more of a gave up. IG gave up on the season, in my opinion, by making these moves. Is there potential for their organization to improve? Theoretically, yeah. I mean, you got a lot of young players, and they may have potential. But at the same time, between never hope and gave up, I think that they definitely took a step back, getting rid of veterans and Cryan and Wink. And not starting YSKM was definitely a puzzling one. And then EDG. So committing to solo kill, allowing Ali to leave would probably, to me, be give up. Would be part of giving up. JJ comes back, though, which is a good move. Cryan comes back, and then they add Wink, and they start leave. So, in my opinion, EDG tricked you. And I'm going to say why. So, a lot of people gave up on EDG, myself included. And some people think EDG are still a disaster. And I think that's, maybe just even thinking about this right now. Did they trick you, or is there never any hope? No, they tricked you by bringing in Leave, bringing back JJ, tricked me a bit. EDG are still meh. I don't see them being much better than a playoff team. They could finish top 2 out of this group for sure, but, I mean, top 2 of the bottom 8 or best team in the bottom 8, I mean, that's whatever. So, EDG, in my opinion, between tricked you and never had hope, right? The organization's run pretty poorly lately, and this committing to veterans is nice and all, but in the end, solo kill is really struggling in top lane a lot, and it's hard for the team to really recover from that. Now, let's get rid of IG on here, just so I can visualize. OMG, Cube and Abel, gone. We saw Tianjin from IG now starting for OMG. Zhao Feng is out, and I think that move's kind of weird. Tianjin didn't deserve to be benched necessarily. Leon was better than him, but he was an LPL level jungler. He had a positive win rate on IG at the time of his benching, and as a carry-oriented player playing facilitators, it just honestly was trying to fit a square peg into a triangle hole, if you will. So that was kind of weird. Now OMG go with him. They're going with the rookie and Starry in bot lane. They're kind of trying, but why did they make that move? I don't know. Losing Cuban Abel and having to bring in Harry and, Starry was going to play either way. But bringing in Harry felt a little weird. I'm going to go with why. Why are we making changes in the jungle role? I understand Zhao Feng has his struggles, but do we really expect a young player as well in Tianjin to save the team? I don't. What's happening with Angel? Really struggling in the mid lane. And then we have RNG, who have gave up 100%. So the rumor is that Wei is gone. The rumor is Wei is now going to BLG. And we'll get to BLG in a second. But Juice in top lane over ZDZ, that was an interesting move. You went young. You went, for a prospect. Juice has been okay. He's been in my videos, in the highlight videos, players of the week. So, that is what it is. And maybe that was an upgrade. But to me, at first, it's kind of like what are we doing? You're kind of giving up here, getting rid of veteran players. Swapping out Ming for Iwandi, I think, is also very puzzling. And getting rid of Wei for a guy nobody really has heard of is certainly a puzzling move. So, gave up is definitely where RNG go for me, because that jungle move doesn't make any sense if you're still committed. And frankly, I think they should be. You paid Wanfeng and Ming in bot lane, and Ming, I believe, is better than Iwandi. So I don't understand what we're doing here. Maybe Ming kind of gave up again. I don't know. Thunder Talk, they're going under never had hope. So TT never really made a move. Sure, they bring in Feather now to play with 1xN, but that isn't really helping them all that much. UCal, not dominant enough to 1v9. Beshwan does decent on carries, but can't be enough. And Hoya, he can play tank tops. But Thunder Talk, in my opinion, you never really had hope for them to be a team that goes, deep in the playoffs or anything like that. So, in my opinion, they never had hope, and frankly, they never made a change. So, they didn't improve. And then you have BLG. So BLG are certainly quite a team to think about now, right? So we think they're the best team on paper. Personally, I do think they're the best team on paper with Shun starting. But what is this decision with Wei? In my opinion, we're going under why. I really don't think anybody can sell me on why they would bring in Wei. And why Wei would decide to go to BLG unless he's trying to, win a world championship by substituting. I do not see a world right now where Wei is starting over Shun. Well, no, sorry. It's not that I don't see a world. They could very well do that. That he is better than Shun. I don't think that he's better than Shun. I had somebody in the Discord, and they insist that because Wei has won 2 MSIs and 2 LPL splits, that he should start over Shun. By using accomplishment logic, then Ning should be starting over Milky Way. Oh, well, that seems kind of harsh, right? But, the logic, now you can argue that Wei is better than Shun on the Rift. You could try to do that. But to utilize accomplishments as the main crux of the decision, it's not like Wei is proven at Worlds to be great. And honestly, let's look at things. Zhao Hu went to Worlds Finals without Wei or Ming. Bringing Tarzan with them. A player that everybody thinks... No, sorry, not Tarzan. Wei. Tarzan's not playing. Even worse. Wei is worse than Tarzan. Dragging Wei to the finals. Along with the Shy, of course. And the Shy does deserve a lot of the credit for getting there, but... Zhao Hu got there, right? Where Wei cannot do it. So, I mean, hell, way RNG were a disaster before. They would have been in never had hope, really, or tricked you because they did make roster moves that you would think made them better in the bot lane. But gave up. As where RNG go. And BLG, why are we making this move? I don't think Wei is better than Shun. Even if Wei were to win the split and win Worlds as the starter, that does not change the fact that BLG could have done that with Shun. BLG have been capable of doing that the whole time. And to be like, yeah, well, he didn't win MSI, so, because Wei won Worlds, that means that they're better. That's not how that works in a game where the rules change every 2 weeks. I mean, we've went over this. The world champion is not, more often than not, really isn't the best team in the world for the whole year. They're the best team on the patch. So it's a wild thing. It's a wild take to have in regards to, figuring out who should start on that team. I don't know why they made that decision. I think it was a terrible decision. BLG are still top 5 team in the world. They still could win. But I don't know why you mess with it at all. Nip, in my opinion, wait and see. So, they do not have that oomph factor, in my opinion, right now that just has them dominate games. We see Fodic struggle at times. We see Shanji struggle at times. Aki struggles more than they do. Rookie is the only one doing work. Can Rookie get them very far? We'll wait and see. Otherwise, though, they aren't in the fine category. I'm not thinking they're fine. Okay, they have issues that they need to work through. But they also haven't tricked anybody. They're the team we knew they were, which is a team with some question marks, but very good and talented players in a couple roles. So that's the thing. So Nip are there. Next we have Weibo, who I believe fall under wait and see as well. So Weibo lost to Ultra Prime twice. Oh no. All hands on deck. Weibo are choking. They're frauds. And then they beat JDG, and it's like, oh, shh, don't talk about it. That makes you a fraud by not talking about it. So, as far as I'm concerned, Weibo, wait and see what happens as Tarzan plays more games with Xiaohu and Breathe. That team is, hypothetically, in my opinion, only going to get a little bit better. And I still think they can go to Worlds. As many people can't believe that because they lost to Ultra Prime twice, but the players on paper are good enough to get there. So, in my opinion, we're going to wait and see what happens, in the end here. Beating JDG is an example of just how good those players are. After that, we have LGD. So, LGD, they're down here. Never hope. Now, for me, beating BLG is great, right? And they're in my top 25 because they are performing like a team that's top 25 in the world. Meteor is a great carry-oriented jungler. Hai Chao has been one of the best mid laners in the LPL so far in summer. Without question, statistically, he is maybe the best. But when the meta goes away from carry-oriented junglers and Meteor has to return maybe to not hard carry junglers, and that just isn't the best course of action, I don't think LGD are really going to get it done. They're not in the wait and see for me because am I waiting and seeing for the meta to stay the same? No, I expect it to change. A lot of people, assume the meta doesn't change, but we look over history and metas do change. So, it just might not be as quickly as you wanted, but, you look at it and champions tend to change. There's only choice few that you can say are always in the conversation in meta, and it's not carry-oriented jungler. So LGD have their work cut out for them due to that. LGD, in my opinion, never have hope to make make Worlds or be a team contending for Worlds. They're just a team that, they're in the top, upper upper half. I did not expect that at all. But they're not tricking me. They might trick you, but they're not going to trick me. Blue here. So another wait and see. LNG. So similar to Weibo and Nip, they have good players, and frankly, I'm going to wait and see what happens. Still, I'm not going to get excited and say, "Oh no, they have no chance. They're frauds and this or that." Like I said, LNG, if they, win tomorrow or this or that against Weibo, people are going to get all quiet again. Or if they go to playoffs, they'll be like, "Oh, I never doubted them." Yeah, you did, and you should have to wear that on your forehead like a tattoo. But regardless, so LNG, great players. I don't think Wait, like I said, is better than Tarzan, but LNG, wait and see for sure, because I still think they have the potential to turn it around. I don't see why they can't turn it around. And then we have Ultra Prime, who, in my opinion, are going to be here. Because in the end, they tricked a lot of people, and at times tricked me. In my predictions, I picked them to win. I think against IG both times, and IG won both times. So, they tricked me in that regard. Some people thought that they were going to playoffs in my Discord, which I thought was hysterical because there was no way in hell that was going to happen. Weibo and Nip are too good to really throw that away. Doubting those players is silly. Getting too lost in the sauce. Between tricked you and never had hope, I mean, I guess you could put them in the conversation of LGD, but they don't have players quite like Meteor and Haichao, which in my opinion are pretty good, and I'm not being tricked by how good they're doing in this current meta. I figure that they're just going to, kind of fizzle out, if you will. Now, we got our final five here. We got Top Esports. They're fine. They're not making any changes. They know they're a great team. They don't need to do shit. They showed at that Mickey Mouse tournament that they had a couple, this past few days, that they're still a good team. So that is what it is. FPX. Tricked you. I don't think that they actually like this summer. I think they're falling back down to earth, and a lot of people were tricked from spring to summer. Milky Way is a top 5 jungler in the world, and this and that and the third, and I can't believe you don't have him up there. I mean, I think they are where they are, right? And he's a great player. Milky Way's going to have a great career. Kara, I think, has shown some growth. But the top lane with ZDZ instead of Jalahu, that's a downgrade. Bot lane duo, Duck Down Life, they're still pretty good. Maybe they tricked me a bit. But FPX, in my opinion, tricking a lot of people. And they're down in this group of, what are we doing here? They're not in the gave up or why category because they're not making moves that make me kind of question it. I mean, Jalahu, that move was not up to them. So that's the thing. Team Wii. Wayward. Oh. They, Team Wii are in the Y category. I don't know why they changed junglers. I don't think Hung was the issue. Or Hang. Hang was the issue, and now Zhao Zhang. Now Zhao Zhang. I don't know. They have a new rookie jungler. And I don't think that he is any better than Hung. But we'll see. And I don't know why they're making that move now. I think they're a team that maybe they weren't at a playoff level. Not a playoff level, but, well, no, they didn't make the upper 8, right? So they weren't at a playoff level. But the meta doesn't fit the jungler, but in the end, I think it's going to change. So, I don't know. They have good players. Wayward's solid. Mark is okay. Abel is solid. I think that they're a team that could fit it. Fofo is okay. Some people are like, oh, Fofo's inting and this and that. He should have been the one that was benched. For who? The thing is, we can say, why is a team making a change? But then you have to also, at the same time, have a solution, right? To say, Fofo is the reason why the team's losing. I want him benched instead of the jungler. Okay, well, for who? You can't just say it. You need to have for who. Well, they have to find somebody. Oh, well, you go find somebody. Go on. Go look at free agency. See if you can find somebody. You're going to find out that there isn't somebody better than Fofo, and then you're going to have to say, oh, I didn't know what I was talking about. But that last part never happens. So that's why the next time they talk, you don't listen to them. So, Team Lee, why are we making changes? Just let it ride. You're a playoff team. You're not going to win worlds. Let the young jungler continue to improve. And then anyone's legend, JDG, both are fine in my opinion. You know, this is the thing. It's not a surprise seeing this board, okay? Outside of the BLG part, that is, I'm sure, a shocker to many people. Many people say, oh, they are fine. But I think because they're making a change at all, there's something wrong going on, at least in somebody's noggin, that they think they need to make a change to that roster. So I would say there is something wrong with BLG right now. But regardless, anyone's legend, upgraded in top lane. Tabe is a great coach. And did not want to coach that BLG super team. I think I know why. But, you know, it would ruffle some feathers. And then JDG, they're okay. They're fine. You know, they're going back and forth between Sheer and Flandre. Sheer's been starting the last couple series, and he's doing okay. I mean, we'll see what happens now, I guess, with Weibo after the Weibo series. But I don't think JDG I don't have a problem with JDG after they lost one series. It's not a big deal. Over the entirety, JDG are probably going to Worlds, and they're going to be a very competitive team because they have one of the best bot lane duos in the world. They have one of the best junglers in the world, and that's definitely enough to get the job done. So, in my opinion, top esports, anyone's legend, JDG are fine. We're going to wait and see on NIP, Weibo, LNG. Puzzling teams, OMG, BLG, Team Wii. What are we doing here? I don't understand it. As far as I'm concerned, IG and RNG have given up. Tricked you, tricked me, EDG, Ultra Prime, FPX. Never had hope for Rare Atom, Thunder Talk, or LGD. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. And hope to see you again tomorrow.